sprouts up as a sign. You never thought you really needed it till it told you when the sun would shine. It told you when the sun would shine. When the birds start to dance and the flowers start to sing, diddly-doo-dah-yo-dee-yo, there are hints of hope in the signs of spring. Diddly-doo-dah-yo-dee-yo. The early bird are coming home the earliest is the bluest of the blue jays. When the mama's coming home to make a nest, you know spring is on its way. You know spring is on its way. Oh, when the birds start to dance and the flowers start to sing, diddly-doo-dah-yo-dee-yo, there are hints of hope in the signs of spring. There's a little sign that happens every year. The wait is always worth my while. That moment when the clouds all clear and you remind me how to smile. You remind me how to smile. Hey, look at in a long cold winter, some things don't survive, but spring wakes up and hollers out that death is part of life. Yeah, death is part of life. 'Cause when the birds start to dance and the flowers start to sing, diddly-doo-dah-yo-dee-yo,
That is such a perfect song for today, and I love it. It's called Signs of Spring, and it's by the Okie Dokie Brothers. We're going to sing that one next. But I love it how it starts with, there's a little flower called the daffodil. It sprouts up as a sign. You never thought you really needed it till it told you the sun would shine. And I don't know if the sun will shine today, but I have to tell you that it feels like spring. We've got a little bit of rain, a couple of puddles, and beautiful daffodils. So good morning. It is story time. It is Saturday. I don't know what day it is in March. I think is it the 24th of March, 2023? Or is it the 25th? I'm not sure. But here we are. We're going to have a wonderful time. We're going to read, we're going to sing, and we're going to be together. So, in fact, you know what? I just found this song. I have a wonderful time with music. So I'm going to go ahead. And this is a song. If you know me, you'll understand why I like this. Because I like the morning. So just have fun with it. I like the morning.
I like to open my eyes, get out of bed, put a little jelly on a slice of bread in the morning. Early in the morning.
Like the birds in the trees.
I like the birds in the trees, the sun in the sky. I even like the smell I like to
Open my eyes, get out of bed.
put a little jelly on a slice of bread in the morning. Early in the morning. I like the birds in the trees, the sun in the sky. I even like the smell, but I'm not sure why. In the morning, oh, early in the morning. I love the morning. I'm gonna whistle and dance, shimmy and leap. And when I'm all done, it's back to sleep.
In the morning. Isn't that fun? All right, well, today we are going to have a story time all about bears. And you know what? In children's books, there are some things that throughout all of the years, there's a theme, and bears pop up all the time in children's books. And so we're going to start today with the curious cares of bears. And one of the reasons I thought about doing bears today is not just because there's so many wonderful books, but because it is spring. And we think about all the things that are waking up in the spring. You might be waking up this spring morning, but we know that bears in the springtime, they wake up. The cares of bears are curious indeed. As you will discover if you care to read. In springtime, there's carefully climbing up trees and stealing the honey from beehives of bees. There's chasing and racing for hours and hours, stopping from time to time just to smell flowers. Of course, there is horsing around with each other, teasing your sister or wrestling your brother. In summer, they're swimming inside of a creek, playing jump rope, or perhaps hide and seek. And when relatives visit, you'll see big bear hugs and feasting on berries and beetles and bugs. Then partying heartily, dancing all night, howling and growling until morning's light. On hazy hot days, there's lazing in lakes. And leaving the water, there are great big bear shakes. In autumn, there's playing and leaves all day long, then building a campfire and sharing a song. When winter winds blow, then they go in a den where deeply they sleep till the springtime. And then They slowly emerge as the frozen grounds thaw and start to explore the wide world with awe. And I just think that's a really wonderful book. All the different seasons, and the bear does different things, but in the springtime, I love that line. They slowly emerge as the frozen grounds thaw and start to explore the wide world with awe. So it is spring, and we're having a story time about bears. Bears wake up in the spring. Maybe you're waking up this morning. I do like the morning. And I also like the ABCs.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
This will wake you up.
A, B,
C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me?
I love learning the letters of the
I do.
alphabet. Let's sing it again.
One more time.
O,
B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Next time, won't you sing with me? Wonderful. Okay, super sweet book. This is called Glad, Glad Bear. Big, bold illustrations. And glad, of course, is another word for being happy. So it says, what makes you glad? What makes you happy? Glad, glad bear. Bear is glad. Bear has new leggings. And Bear has new, do you know what these are? Bear has new slippers. And I love the fact that Bear has a teddy bear. And a new tutu. Oh, look at that glad bear smile. And today is dance day. And that makes him very glad. That is one happy bear. Whee! I particularly like the cowboy boots with the tutu. I think that's great. Well, then, Bear is not so sure. And he feels a little shy. a little afraid. And a little different. But when the music starts, Bear begins to feel light. And bubbly. And twirly. Then Bear is dancing. And when the music stops, Bear takes off his slippers and his tutu, and the teacher says, "Thank you for coming." Sticker. He's getting a star sticker. Oh, look. And the little friend says, "Wait, you forgot something." And Bear is very glad that he did. Isn't that sweet? Glad Bear. So Bear is going to dance class and he's a little nervous. He takes his teddy bear, the music starts, and he feels light and twirly. At the end, the teacher gives him a sticker and says, "Thanks for coming." And best of all, he's made a friend. So glad Bear. All right, let's see what we've got here. Let's see. Okay, sometimes I do this. I found a whole bunch of new songs that I like. Here's another one. Let's try this. It's called Clap Your Hands. You know, like that banjo.
Clap, clap, clap your hands together. Clap, clap, clap your hands together. Stomp, stomp, stomp and stamp, stomp and stamp together.
Stomp your feet.
Stomp, stomp, stomp and stamp together. Anything worth doing once is better done again.
Let's do it again.
Anything worth doing alone is better with a friend.
Better with a friend.
Jump, jump, jump again together. Hop the fence that holds you in, place your feet together.
I hope you're dancing at home.
Run the race together. Get the goal, get first place, run the race together.
Run.
Any road you're starting now,
That's right.
lead you to a hill. Any load you're carrying alone is lighter with a friend.
It's better with a friend.
Stand, take a stand again.
take a stand and make this land, make it all better. Dance, dance, clap and dance together. This could be your only chance to clap and dance together. Clap and dance together. Clap your hands together.
Woohoo! So anything worth doing once is better to do again, and it's better to do it with a friend. All right. This is a new book for me, and I have to tell you, when I was searching for books on bears, I wasn't sure what this book was about, and I want you to look at the cover. Here's a bear, and I want to see if you can notice anything about the bear. So have a look, and I'm going to give you a hint. Look at the ears. Okay, and I think this book is really well done, and it's called Can Bears Ski? Dad Bear has a hard time waking me up in the morning. 1, the radiator shakes. 2, the bed rumbles like a large empty tummy. 3, and the windows by the bed tremble. 4, Dad Bear takes one heavy step forward and the ceiling cracks. 5. My eyes snap awake, and I explode out of bed, and my feet hit the ground. I'm up! I'm up! And I put on my sky blue socks and my orange pants and my yellow sweater. I like my colors loud. It's been snowing, and everything feels still, and no rumbling and no trembling. It's like everything is breathing quietly. And then I feel Dad's voice. 1, banisters shake. 2, pictures wobble. 3, stairs flinch. I'm coming! I'm coming, I say. I gobble breakfast, and Dad Bear has the TV on, and I see a man in a blue snowsuit skiing fast down a slope. And Dad Bear is saying something to me. I think he says, "Can bears ski?" A shrug. I'm not sure I heard him right, and I eat the last of my porridge, and it's time for school. Dad Bear talks a lot on our way to school, and I hear the crunch, crunch, crunch of the snow. And Dad Bear stops, and he looks at me directly. Your friend was saying hello. Why did you ignore him? I didn't. And then Dad Bear asks again, "Can bears ski?" Is that what he's really asking me? Teacher Bear approaches Dad Bear, and I can only hear little pieces of what they're saying. Have to sit front of class. Teacher Bear stamps on the ground and I feel the ground shake. So I look up. And he's saying something to me, but I can't quite work it out. I wonder if it's, can bears ski? David Bear sits next to me at lunch and he's talking a lot. And suddenly laughter bursts out everywhere and I don't know what everyone is laughing at. He asks me a question. Can bears ski? I don't know. One day, Dad Bear picks me up early, and we are going to meet someone with a name I can't say, and she writes her name like this: audiologist. It's a really hard word to say. And she puts headphones on my head, and she wants me to put a block on the table every time I hear a sound. And then she shows us something called an audiogram. It's also a hard word to say. And on the audiogram, my results are like the shape of a ski slope. And I imagine myself skiing down it. And the audiologists ask, can bears ski? After a week and a few more tests, I start hearing therapy and lip reading classes too. And the audiologist gives me plastic ears called hearing aids, and they feel uncomfortable at first, and everything sounds like robots. And the audiologist asks, are you ready? Can you hear me? Whoa! Is this loud? Actually, it says, is life this loud? Sometimes I get tired and sounds stop making sense no matter how loud it is. And sometimes I take my hearing aids out and lose them. I guess I'm not used to them yet. Can bears ski? I still don't know how to answer that question. Dad Bear reads a story out loud, and he looks directly at me, and I see his whole face, and he speaks clearly, and I can feel his big voice on the page, And so I followed Dad Bear's finger, and there's a big picture of the moon. I know what the moon is saying because I can see its whole face, and the moon is speaking clearly. Can you hear me? Says the moon. And I say, bears can ski. Isn't that a thoughtful book? I think that's really nicely done. So I don't know if you remember at the beginning I said, what do you notice about the bear? And if we now, when we go back, we can see the bear's hearing aids. And so every time someone would ask him, can you hear me? He thought they were saying, can bears ski? And I just think it's really nice. And they go to the audiologist who helps them to understand all the different things they can do so that he can hear more clearly. And at first he doesn't like them, and sometimes he takes them out. But at the end of the book, he can hear with the help of his hearing aids. I just think it's a very sweet book. All right, as usual, I have no idea what time it is. I think we're doing okay. And you know what? I think we're going to sing this song. I love the mountains.
I love the mountains.
I love the rolling hills. I love
The flowers.
I love the daffodils.
I love the fireside.
With all the lights aglow. Boom de yada, boom de yada, boom de yada, boom.
Yada,
Boom,
yada,
boom,
yada,
boom,
yada,
boom. Bum, ba-dum.
We walk together, hike by the quiet stream, watch for the sunrise, breathing the air so clean. When we're together,
It's true.
sharing our fondest dreams.
Boom de yada, boom de yada, boom de yada, boom.
Yada,
Boom,
yada,
boom,
yada,
boom,
yada,
boom.
I love the mountains.
I love the rolling hills. I love the flowers. I love the daffodils.
I love the fireside.
With all the lights aglow. Boom de yada, boom de yada, boom de yada, boom. Boom de yada, boom de yada, boom de yada, boom. Ta-da. Sweet, sweet, sweet song. Let's make sure I turn it off before I go to the next one. All right. So, this last book, it's so sweet. I love it. It's a new book, and it's called The Bears Shared. This is the lair the bears shared. Aren't they the cutest? This is the hair that came from the lair the bears shared. And this is the bird that borrowed the hair that came from the lair the bears shared. And this, you know what the bird's going to do, right? This is the nest built by the bird that borrowed the hare that came from the lair the bears shared. And this is the tree that held, tall as can be, that held the nest built by the bird that borrowed the hare that came from the lair the bears shared. This is the wind that howled from the west, that shook up the tree that sheltered the nest, the cozy nest, and the mama bird that borrowed the hare that came from the lair the bears shared. Oh, this is the rain cloud, cold and gray, that soaked the woods that stormy day, with gusts that shook the tall, tall tree that held the feathered family. In the cozy nest built by the bird that borrowed the hare that came from the lair, the bears shared. And this is the crack of the tall, tall tree that thrash its branches frightfully. As the water whirled on wind from the west, a wind that scooped up bird and nest and hair that smelled like drizzly bear, that scattered in the snapping air, the air outside the open lair, the bears shared. This is the bush with its bouncy boughs that caught the birds while brown bears drowsed. The babies landed chirpingly upon its branches. 1, 2, 3. While Mama's flapping stirred the hair that came from the lair, the bears shared. This is the entrance, now a slide, that gave the birds a muddy ride. They flitted and flipped and slipped inside the hairy lair the bears shared. This is the snort of groggy bears that slept through storms and borrowed hares, but startled from their comfy sleep by frantic chimes of cheep, cheep, cheep. Their bleary eyes could only stare as feathers fanned the berry air that came from the lair the bears shared. This is the moment, beak to snout, the mothers checked each other out. while big-eyed babies, scrawny things, protected by a pair of wings, and furry babies, brown and plump, peered out behind a rounded rump that weeks ago had shed the hair that came from the lair the bears shared. This is the hush within the storm that made the room feel whisper warm. For bird and bear with love to share. That filled the lair the bears shared. And I think that is a beautiful book. It's lovely rhymes, has fantastic illustrations, and in the back there's some wonderful information from the author about how we can be good neighbors to birds. So it's a lovely, lovely book, and I just makes me happy. The bears, they shared. Wonderful. Well, as you know, there are so many books about bears. The ones, oh, wait. I might not be done. Okay, well, this is what we've done. We have read The Curious Cares of Bears, and then we read Glad Glad Bear, about trying new things and making friends, and then we read a wonderful book, Can Bears Ski? And then we just read The Bears Shared, and that was going to be my last book, but then I looked over because I've got piles and piles of books here, and I see this one. And this is an old book based on an old, old song, and it's called The Teddy Bear's Picnic. And of course there is a special reason why I have to include this today, because long, long ago, miles and miles away, someone created a Teddy Bear's Picnic for me. So I have a song, and it sounds old and the pictures look old, but you know what? I'm going to do it because this is a good story and a very, very sweet song. So if you want to head out, that's fine. If you want to stay, we're going to do The Teddy Bear's Picnic. And let's see if I can coordinate the music with the pages.
If you go down to the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go down to the woods today, you better go in disguise. For every bear that ever there was will gather there for certain, because today's the day the teddy bears have their picnic. Every teddy bear who's been good is sure of a treat today. There's lots of marvelous things to eat and wonderful games to play. Beneath the trees where nobody sees, they'll hide and seek as long as they please, 'cause that's the way the teddy bears have their picnic. If you go down to the woods today, you'd better not go alone. It's lovely down in the woods today, but safer to stay at home. For every bear that ever there was will gather there for certain, because today's the day the teddy bears have their picnic. Picnic time for teddy bears. The little teddy bears are having a lovely time today. Watch them, catch them unawares, and see them picnic on their holiday. See At 6 o'clock, their mommies and daddies will take them home to bed because they're tired little teddy bears.
And that went really fast, but that was the teddy bears picnic. All right, well, I love reading, I love singing. Sometimes it goes better than others, but you know what? You were here and I was here, and we had a wonderful Saturday morning together. It is very much a drizzly gray spring morning, but it feels like spring. There are wonderful sounds outside of birds and of children playing and beautiful daffodils. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for being here.